Hi there, Blender folks. Welcome to another Blender walkthrough, speed through, story through tutorial. Yeah, I gotta adjust the title. So today I wanted to talk about the story I'm writing, the Ternion. Have you ever heard that one big story you always go over and over in your mind, and how big it is and how awesome it will be on the big screen? But due to some constraints, either it may be money, skills, resource, or etc., you can't do it justice. Well, for me, it would be this story. Either it may be simple or complex. I believe we all have that one or two story. There was this time James Cameron said he wanted to proceed to create the sequels to Avatar, but due to the limitations of technology, he couldn't, or rather, his vision wouldn't be possible. And so now, after years of advancement, he was able to get Avatar to Way of Water done. And the same goes for most of us. We will have our own hindrances, but we all need to take the first step, and that's through developing the story, understanding it through writing, and you'll be surprised how much you didn't know about your own story and where it will lead you. And that's where I want to go. I want to be able to take the first step and develop this story to its full max storyline that is laid as perfect as it could be. And I want to go through this journey with you guys. So, where I try to develop these characters and see what shapes them and their choices. So, this story is kind of inspired by Attack on Titan. The story leaves an impression, and quite a big one. And that's what the writer said. He said he wants to head the viewers. A story that will do the ordinary will be ordinary, and a story that dares to invoke viewers and their most deepest emotions will forever stay with them. And that's the beauty of storytelling. You must dare the viewers. Stories have always kind of been a form of entertainment, a way to escape reality and into another, full of adventures, laughter, joy, sorrow, happiness, and some even going beyond and changing our lives and how we approach life. So that's what I want to tell. A story where no boundaries exist and no impossible. So yeah, let's get into this masterpiece in the writing and see what is it all about and how it will unfold. So why the title Ternion? Well, it sounds cool. The name is as simple as it says. The Kade is the surname of the brothers, and the Ternion just means three. So it's just three Kade brothers in essence. The story is about these three brothers. Leopold, which is the first one to arrive, although he's just older by minutes, and is also the strongest one, at least in the beginning of the story, and is also regarded as the leader among the three. And your middle child, there we have Briskly, who will ignite a lot of conflict, mainly because of his curiosity and the way he just kind of lived. He just didn't want that life for himself, and he just wanted to be kind of a normal kid. So he will kind of ignite conflict and lead to some of the big things the big plots that will happen in the story. And the last one will have Reglan Cade, who's the one that kind of keeps everyone together there in place, because the leader and Briskly will often fight a lot because of Briskly's mischievous attitude and all that. So they will fight a lot, and Reglan Cade will be the one who kind of gets them together there, and he will be the last one to remain in the story after, because the first one, Leo and Briskly, will die along with the story. And that's what I was talking about. There will be some moments where it's just sad to watch. So those are one of the things that will happen in the story. Then again, it's not like we are watching a television. So these are not spoilers. We are writing a story, so this is what we should know, that it's laid there that Briskly and Leo will die at some point in the story, and Raglan will remain to finish the arc. And they're all born mutated through their grandfather Tujin, who will accidentally kill his brother Sujin. And this is where we'll begin telling this story. And also their father is Stephen Cade, who has these genes of mutation, but don't really show themselves because he was normal, as we will see or write in the story. So yeah. So with that in mind, you can hear the story will get a little bit sad and dark. So it's not the story that I will usually write, and I believe that's what will make it unique. A story needs to grow and explore. So after understanding these characters and falling in love with them and then seeing them fall is quite saddening and kind of a downer. So, and this story will go to the extreme level of loss and anger, but we'll also see joy and some kindness as well. So this is what will unfold here. So what is exactly happening in the story? So, well, the main plot of the story is set on a foreseen future where a mysterious not-man creature tells Stephen Kade about what will be referred as the Hell's Rain and how his children. And at this point, he doesn't know Cordelia. Cordelia is his wife. He doesn't know that she's pregnant. So now this creature tells him that there will be something called Hell's Rain and it will kill everyone, and tells him how his children are very crucial to saving these people. With the invasion of galaxy species being the main plot of the entire story, there are some other big conflicts that add up to the great defeat, and as mentioned, Briskly being a major one of them. After the death of their mother, Easterven took the three out of the village and raised them on a high top mountain hidden under a magical bearing, like the mysterious creature asked of him. The brothers grew and trained and got strong and waited till the years said that the invasion was to occur, but nothing ever came. Briskly was always wondering how it was to be out there with other kids, playing, going to school, and experiencing love. He would sometimes run off to watch the kids at the village, more so a girl. He was taken away by her beauty and he wanted to know her, but he could never, at least not with his huge, pointy bones extruding from his elbow. So, him now distrusting what he was told and his father's passing, he didn't want to live by someone else's rules any longer. Then he cut off his exterior bones and left the mountain and found a life in the village. And on a mysterious night, a lonesome girl near the mountain was almost eaten by a sultry, a vicious creature in the story, until she was saved by Leo, whom she asked if would accompany her to her village far away, as she was lost and afraid of the way home, which led to Leo finding a new path in life, where he kills dangerous beasts for money, and then leaving the last son home. I just have the most important concept or the ideas that need to be implemented, but the story itself still needs some detail because I want it to be authentic and I want it to, move you, and whatever happens in the story must have a meaning. It must connect to something. We don't just do things just for the sake of doing them. These events that every event that is gonna happen, it must have some motive, a reason to it. So that is why I want to be able to create this story and take my time and be able to understand the reason why I'm doing whatever I'm doing, the reasons that affect the characters and why they develop the way they developed. So yeah, so you can see here, this is the book, and I haven't written that much, maybe 2 3 pages or so. And you can see from the title there is the Ternion. You can think of this one as a prequel to the actual Ternion, because we're gonna start this tale at the very beginning. We can't start with the actual three brothers in this case, not understanding where they came from or the mutation themselves, really. So we're gonna start at the very beginning. This is the second generation here, so we're gonna start there. You can see this is the Sujin Tojin Chronicle, the two brothers there, and I did talk about them and said about this say Tojin killed his brother accidentally. So this is the tale. It's a little bit long, but yeah, we're gonna start there because it's important. So now let's look at these important dates that I have here that will have a big part in the story. That's why I have them, but we'll have more along the way. So now we have Daniel Kade, and I've written below that is Tojin's father, and we have some date there, the date of birth when he was born, and we have a telling date which is very much important, and this is where we're gonna start telling this story, which is in 1834, I mean. And then we have Elsha Ember Bright, whom is Sujin's mother, Tujin's mother. the brothers, and we have Sujin Peak himself there. You can see his other name, Sujin Peak Kade. Was born 1917 there, and then the telling age is 17 years old. So you can see that there, and we have Tujin, Steven's father. So that is very much important to know there. We have Romana Ellery Hensley, the one that is gonna date Tujin, and we have Lucas Oxley and some other important dates, but we're gonna talk more about them because I'm sure we can all remember these dates and all that. And we have Milana Cromwell, and you can see their ages there, which are very much important. So when telling this, I'm gonna come to this so that everything connects, so that I don't just say things randomly. Everything must connect and make sense. And then we have other names like Stephen Cade, we have Raven C. Soles there, and we have some other stuff here. So this one, the Ternion here, the way it says the Ternion timeline begin. This is the actual story that we want to tell. This is our actual protagonist of the entire story, the three brothers, but we are not going to begin the story here. So we must be able to understand their background before we can come to them. But we can see some important dates when they will be born here, which is 1865 there. You can see I just said there's 0 years, and then we have some important dates where I jump these details to help me to realize or to remind me of the ideas that I had and what was going on here. So they're gonna come in handy, but we will talk about them when we get to this point, because this is gonna be a long one, because Tujin and Sujin, it's a big tale there before we come here. So we gotta write it, and yeah. So this is the first K generation, but actually it's the second, but I just said it's the first because that's where I'm starting to tell the story, but it's the second. I regard Tujin's father as the first, and then the Tujin as the second, but we'll just regard them as the first generation in this case. So we have Tujin in a dialogue here where we see Tujin Cade, Marley Kayla, we have Kylie Sandro and Tujin Cade. These are weird names, but we have Marley Kayla and some others down there. And you can see here is Tujin. We begin with Tujin. They're at a school. I'm going to add more details on this because I can see there's no detail informing us where they are and what is going on. We just have hey Malik. Kylie is greeting the two there, and he's asking where's Romana. Romana is his girlfriend there. So let me think I'll go back to that one. Okay, okay, you can see I think I did write a few. It's about 9 pages. I think it's about, but there's still a lot to be written, but so it's not too many, and I'm gonna revise this anyway. Some of the things I would like to change and edit. So let me read this entire script so that we understand where we're gonna begin. So we have Tujin, where he says, hey Mali, Kyle, where's Romana? And they say, hi Tujin, she's still in the classroom with your brother. And then here is just the other one greeting him, saying hi Tujin, and he says cool, thanks. And then Malik say, we are still doing the movie, right? So the movie night, right, Tujin? So you can see they are friends here, and Romana, like I'm saying, she's dating Tujin, so it will explain that. Then here you have Tujin Cade, and he says yes, of course, Saturday. So here we have something called, we have an unheard conversation. This is before the first one there, where it's Romana, she's saying, I'm coming guys, I want to talk with Sujin. And then Mali says, okay, you will find us outside. And then Romana says, hey, you seem kind of down, are you okay? She's speaking with Sujin in this case. So he says, oh, hey, Ellery. And you can see he calls Ellery, which is something very important, but we'll look at that. And he says, nah, I'm all right, just have a lot on my mind. And Romana says it wouldn't have something to do with Aliana, will it? And Sujin says, what do you mean? Then Romana says, well, Sujin, you and her did have quite a quarrel this morning. So it seems like Sujin had a fight with someone called Aliana, which is or X in this case. So okay, then well, Sujin, you and I did have okay. Then he says, "Oh, yeah, well, I guess everyone saw that, huh? She broke up with me." Okay. Then Romana says, "What? Why?" And Elra says, "You know how I feel about you, right?" And Romana says, "Sujin, you know I." Then Sujin continues to say, "From that moment I laid my eyes on you, I just never been the same again. Aliana has her flaws, but she's a good person when you get to know her. And I didn't want to hurt her at the time, but I guess there's a limit to which you could pretend that you truly love someone. And apparently, I've raised that limit. So I guess she had enough and called me on it." Then Romana says, "Are you saying you broke up because of me?" Then Sujin continues to say, "We don't choose who we love, Ellery. I would have stayed with Aliana if my love for you is equivalent or even a little above hers, but the feelings for you are so real and overwhelming. I can't help but question what I have with her and what I think love truly is. I know you and my brother are together and I don't want to hurt his feelings, but you and I both know that I loved you way before he even laid his eyes on you." So you can see there's something brewing here. And Roma says, "Sujin." Then he stands up here. Sujin stands up from the chair. Like I said, they are in a classroom. And he says, "I'm sorry to be difficult, Ellery, but I love you and I don't want to be with anybody else but you. You belong with me." And he kisses her. And confused, she doesn't know how to react. I don't want to say she kissed him as well, but she didn't react. She just stood there. And then someone too, Jin is looking. He was going to see her, so he sees all of this through the window. You can see now shit is about to escalate. So yeah, then we have someone called Sparrow Stall here, and that's Tujin's friend. So he says, "How did it go, man? She loved the present." Uh, she says, he says, "Kade, are you okay? Kade, Kade." You can see now this is Tujin is angry, he's leaving. So Tujin K is angry and he leaves the school. Romana back in the classroom, she says, "I'm sorry, Sujin, but this was a mistake. I love Tujin and I can't. I'm sorry." And then Tujin K, there you can see he says smile, and while Romana leaves, they just kind of said smile. And then we have Daniel Cade, and he says, that's Tujin and Sujin's father. He says, "Hey, you home early? School out already?" And then Tujin says, "No, I wasn't feeling well, so I asked to come home early." So that his father says, "What's the matter?" And he just says, "It's just a headache. I just need to rest a little. I'll be fine." And then his father says, "All right, there's some food if you want to eat something." And then Tujin says, okay, he just goes to his room there. Sujin knows how much I love Romana. Why would he do this? You piece of shit. And then now he throws a ball at the photo. You can now he's at a room that I'll add more details so that I can demonstrate where they are here. So here it shows he's in his room and he kind of throws a ball at a picture maybe somewhere. So now here we have a knock on the door. Tujin, your father said you weren't feeling well. So she's still outside. So he's not here. When she enters, he's not there. So where could have he gone to? So now he's gone. So now we have Tujin working on some random modes here. And then we have him remembering some things. So he is remembering how he met Romana and inside the school library. And Romana is looking for interesting books to read. So Tujin comes there. He says, "The Colors in Our Eyes" by Yundre Rice. That's a very intriguing love story following the life of Monte Glenwood, who really can't catch a break. So you can see here, he must have noticed the book that she's carrying, and he read it, I'm sure. So that's why he says that. And she says, "Oh, sounds like my kind of read." And then Sujin asks, "You like to read?" And Romana says, "Well, not as much as I would like to, but I do read in my spare time. But sounds like you might be a bookworm." And then Tujin says, "Well, I do read quite a lot. Below the Stars, Find Me Close, and Long We Hold. Those are some good books. This is one of my personal favorites. Truly challenges you to question everything you know. Everything you think you know about everything and what true love truly feels like. Though I do vouch for it, but it could leave you feeling empty. So you can see Tojin reads a lot of books, so he knows all the books that she's carrying there. So that should tell you something about what kind of guy Sujin is. So like I'm saying, everything that happens here will have some reaction, or something will happen with this information that you see everywhere. So she says, wow, that's profound, but that's what I think books are all about, having to question everything we know, trying to understand our own logic in comparison to other great minds, right? I think I will give it a try. So she says she'll read the book. So he says, well, let me know what you think. And then she says, of course. He says, I'm Tujin Kade, but my friends call me Jin. So he's introducing himself here. He says, Tujin, haven't I met you before? I feel like I've met you before. And he says, I don't think so, but I do have a twin brother. Probably, he said, okay, I do probably you met him. His name is Sujin. He is in class 11C. And then Romana says, oh yeah, you guys are so alike. Well, I'm Romana Hensley and my friends call me Roma. Then Tujin says, well, we are twins. That's what he was saying. Okay, we are twins. And he says, nice to meet you, Romana. And then she says, you too. So then they kind of start this conversation. So you new here? And then, okay, that happens there. So you knew here, okay. And she says, yes, this is my first day here. And then now Tojin, remember, he's on a walk. He was just remembering those things. And then now he sees a crashed vessel along the wherever he's walking on the woods. And he says, what is that? And he goes to check it out. And when he gets there, he sees this thing. What the hell is this thing? I've never seen such a creature before. It looks badly hurt, and he tries to lift it, and that thing zaps him at the shoulder, and he kind of says, like he's scared of just something that zaps you, you'll scream, right? And it knocks him for 2 hours. And then here we are back at the Kade residence. Now, this is school's out now. You can see Sujin is back, and he opens the door and he says, hey, Dad. And then his father says, hey, son, have you seen your brother? He came back home early saying he wasn't feeling well and went to his room, but now he's not there. And then Sujin says, no, I haven't seen him since morning. Sparrow said he left school quite harshly and even left his bag. I'm sure he wasn't feeling well, probably went for a walk or something. And then his father says, sure, I hope so. He didn't look so good. And then Sujin continues to say, I'm sure he's all right. And then here we are back at Tujin, and he says, my head. So you can see now he's awake. Says, what happened just now? Where did that thing go? So whatever he saw at that point, it was not there anymore. Did I just imagine that? My body feels so weird right now. So now we are moving to another scene here. He says, Mali, see you tomorrow. Roma says, bye. So we can see school's out. Romana and her friends were working from school, and then now they are saying their goodbyes. And Romana sees Tujin, and she says, where have you been? I was worried about you. And Tujin says, hey, are you all right? That's Romana there. Says, you look a little pale. Or did I finish there? I think I cut myself there. Okay, but we'll look at that if I don't go back to that, because okay, it's fine. We'll look at how it ended, because I'm gonna revise some of the things here. So I just wanted to show you guys like what I had right now before I continue to expand the story and explain more. So I just wanted to update a few things before I come back in more details. You can see we'll start at the Sujin Tujin Chronicle, which is the first generation. We're gonna tell this story, and it is quite a big story. It might not be the main protagonist of the story that we wanna tell at this point, but you can trust me that is gonna be a cool story too. And this one, it has some some good romance and all that. So yeah, it should be fun as well. So like I'm saying, everything will happen for a reason, and I want this to have substance and just overall be a good story from either the first generation, the second, or the main protagonists themselves. It should like be a blast when I write, or whatever way you see it. You should just find this story intriguing. So yeah, we're gonna go over this and try our best and write the best story that could be written, at least. So yeah, this was a long one, but I'm sure, I hope you got something. And if you want to be a part of this, please consider subscribing, so that and also clicking that notification bell, so that you are aware when I upload. I will upload at least one video of this a week, so that we can talk about this story, because it's a big story and I want to constantly come back to it and write while the ideas are still fresh and all that, and be able to explore these characters with you and tell you how it's going and all that. So yeah, it should be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I like writing, so yeah, it's gonna be fun, and seeing how I go about these characters and what will happen in the story. So yeah.